I believe intentions are important. Thank you. I just want people to see the truth. Yeah. So sometimes when people want people to see the truth, and I'm not suggesting this is you at all, but just in general, this happens. It can be based off of an insecurity on your own side or on the person's side to justify your thought patterns, right? Like you want it to be true so badly, and that by telling other people, it makes it more true, right? Because you're insecure with your own opinion of it, right? I'm not suggesting that's what is happening with you, but that can happen in a thought process pattern. So that's where you really need to, is this actually for you, for them? It's like actually for them. You care and love them and want them to win. It's the only reason why you're going to step out. Like I step out of my comfort zone and make content because it's for others, right? I'm introverted, shy. I don't enjoy being in the spotlight, but I do it to serve, right? So as long as you can get to that point, like, no, I'm doing this genuinely to serve, then you go and you share. What I'm learning in class isn't being replicated in the media, okay? Yeah, again, back to intention. As long as the intention is, it's not just justification for yourself. Like, okay, well, some people get their entire identity off of the thing that they're involved in. You know, like, okay, if my identity, here's an example. If my identity was tied up in the YouTube, I am a YouTuber, and without YouTube, I am nothing. Right? Like if that's what pops in. And we all have these identities. Maybe your identity is your religion or your yoga or I'm a vegetarian or whatever, right? If your identity is wrapped up into something, there's a part of it that can easily be, yes, of service to others, but a part of it can also be insecurity, because if it's not true and if other people don't believe it, that means that you're not true and what you're doing might be wrong. And that's especially on an identity level, really dangerous to yourself. It's a big vulnerability and insecurity. So if we go back to vegetarian, right? So say you're a vegetarian and you want other people to be vegetarians because it's healthy and there's all these studies and everything, and you need to be vegetarian. Great. Part of it could be to help others and to serve them. But sometimes if your identity is wrapped up into something, you will try to convince other people that it's the best thing, because if it's not, what does that say about you? If I'm talking about YouTube, I might say YouTube is the best thing because I believe it. But if my identity is tied up into it, then I'll still say YouTube's the best thing, because if YouTube's not the best thing, then what am I doing? It makes me start to question my own life. I mean, that I made the wrong decision. And that's not a place that most people want to go. So that's where, when speaking truth, people struggle, because sometimes the truth is so tied to their identity that they can't actually see the real truth, and they're not open to other perspective or opinions. And then it becomes disserving instead of serving. Does that make sense? We can dive deeper if it doesn't make sense. I guess I've allowed myself to slip into this loop. I've done so much work to disassociate from my labels, but I think I slipped back into it. Well, listen, Crystal, that's great self-awareness. So you don't want to further entrench yourself into it by now diving into some of these wars or conversations, right? By trying to force what you're feeling or thinking or saying on other people. So it's great. It's great that you're catching it. And that's going to stop you from doing something that you might regret later on. Damaging relationships or friendships, and also being less proud of yourself for what you're doing. So then it becomes, well, how do you take a break? Like how do you break from that? How do you break from that thought process and that pattern that's in your head? How do you break free from it? Like, do you need to just chill out for the weekend? Do you need to go somewhere? Like, what do you need to make that happen? So you have a little distance. Because just taking a step back gives you a little more perspective. Just having a little bit of distance gives you perspective that you need. You don't need to take a year off to think about it. Just stepping back. I mean, you're already doing it, Crystal. It's already happening right here. It's already happening right here. Wheels and Warriors on Twitch. Emotions are important to learn self-love. Yeah, I mean, how you handle them for sure. You know, the self-love comes from doing those things that you didn't think you were capable of doing, and then you're showing yourself that you can. When you feel a negative emotion and then you do the opposite, I'm gonna try restarting this, then you definitely love yourself more. I guess I just feel like if I don't stand in my truth, someone else's truth will be pushed onto me. So listen, your truth is your most important core value. Your truth isn't about, medical information. That's not your truth. That's just something you're learning or a perspective. But your truth is your core value. So what do you stand for the most? So at the beginning, Wheels and Words was talking about love or overcome as his most important core value. So if you took if you took love as your core value, your truth is love. Nobody can push you out of love unless you want to be pushed out of love. So even if they don't believe the same things that you believe on a medical front, right? Can you still love them? Yes. One of the things I sometimes practice when I'm walking outside is I see a stranger and I tell myself I love this person. Random strangers walking the street, and then I usually end up smiling at them and sometimes freaking them out, like, why is this person smiling at me? Who's this weird guy? Anyway, as long as you stay in love, nobody's knocking you out. So if anything, people just need more. They need more love, right? They need more of your love. So just come back to that. Like, you want to get, your name is crystal clear. You want to get back to being crystal clear. Mine is believe, right? So my core is believe. Am I believing in myself? Am I believing in others? That's what I'll always come back to. So if we're having a conversation about medical stuff or yoga or goals or procrastination or any of the stuff that we've talked about today, relationships, looking backwards versus forwards, you don't have to agree with me. That's fine. You think I'm wrong? Cool. Yeah, I'm happy for you. As long as you're happy in your life, it's great. I'm not here to judge you. But you're not going to knock me off my truth as long as I stay and believe. Right? I'm not here to convince you. I'm giving my perspective on things. Maybe it works. Hopefully it does. If not, maybe there's a different one that works for you. Or maybe somebody in the chat gives you a better perspective than what I gave. Awesome. As long as you feel served and you have some guidance, great. But you're not going to knock me out of believe unless I want to, right? So that's how you stay in your truth. This is great advice. All right. Well, I'm glad, Crystal. It's great. And it, even in you asking the question, shows how much you care about people and how you show up and how you serve, and how much time you spend on self-reflection and self-awareness. So you'll be fine. Just the fact that you asked the question shows that you'll be fine. And we love you and we're cheering for you.